Maybe you've seen the video in which two PBS journalists fake a live situation. Maria Muscat was talking to Glenn Falzon, well, to a Glenn Falzon that was recorded minutes earlier. Okay, we had a good laugh, don't fake it if you can't make it, but PBS Watch will focus on editorial decisions and on how your tax money is being spent at Guadamanja Hill. Welcome to this first episode. The main news program of a public broadcaster usually focuses on what we call hard news. Stories that are urgent, important, consequential, such as politics and international affairs. And then there is soft news, stories that are more entertaining and diverting. On most channels, you'll find those stories in the morning or in the early evening. Although it was the first day of the year, there was no lack of hard news with everything that's going on around us and in the world. But PBS decided to give the country what it apparently needs most, another ego booster.
TVM allocated no less than 3 minutes to a vox pop among tourists who celebrated the New Year in Malta. And guess what? All of them said they totally love the country, especially the good weather last week. And that must be another national achievement.
So many places to go, the island, Gozo, Comino. I love the sea.
New Year celebrations, a wonderful firework, was really excellent. The style how you live here, so it's not complicated, you're all happy and you're friendly.
You see, a top story prominently placed in the first 10 minutes of the first 8 p.m. news program of the year. Don't expect any traveler to say anything bad about Malta when approached by a happy TVM crew for a feel-good story. A traveler survey published by the Malta Tourism Authority in December revealed what many tourists actually think. Almost a third of tourists who visited Malta in summer 22 described the country's cleanliness as poor or very poor. While non-government media such as Times of Malta covered the survey, we couldn't find any report on it by PBS.
Sometimes it's not only about what and how they report, but about what goes completely unmentioned. Arnold Casola's letter to EC President Ursula von der Leyen on the ETS tax, for example, went unreported last week.
The independent MEP candidate's appeal for Malta's exoneration from the EU's emissions trading scheme ETS made headlines across the media. Yet PBS chose to present the issue of a possible price hike for consumer goods as another partisan discussion between the PN and Labour. In L'Arberie Tatminia on 3rd January, each of the two major parties was allocated exactly 1 minute of coverage. However, the government broadcaster made no mention of Casola's letter, which other media houses had already reported a day earlier. On tvmnews.mt, the latest story referring to the independent candidate dates back to November. Arnold Casola told News, "I'm practically banned from being mentioned on PBS on Maltese political issues, orders of Charles Daly."
Sound bites are brief recorded statements or comments of public figures. If it comes to politicians, the 8 p.m. news program doesn't include a lot of them. But when they do, it's Labour takes it all. Let's have a look. Outgoing Project Green CEO and Labour MEP candidate Steve Elul made it to the top of the list last week with 44 seconds speaking in front of a camera. His appearance on Sunday was most likely TVM's answer to a media conference by ADPD. The Greens said on Saturday that Project Green was a gimmick agency to distract from the much larger theft of public spaces. On Sunday, TVM dedicated 2.5 minutes to Project Green to celebrate the agency's first year. The only nationalist politician to speak in front of a PBS camera was PN whip Robert Cutaia. The distribution of the soundbites' durations lead to the following percentages. Labour really takes it all with 87%, the PN gets what's left, 13%, and the non-parliamentary opposition, non-existent. We are not surprised, are we? More data categories as we move forward in this series I'm already collecting. Thanks for watching and watch the PBS.